Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about books, which is something you haven't seen on my channel yet. I like reading, but I wouldn't say I read a lot, but at the beginning of the year I set myself a goal to read 30 books over the whole year, and I haven't actually made a video about it, obviously, but I figured I'd update on my six month progress, I guess. So I'll have to start from way back in January. So I discovered Goodreads back in the middle of January, so around the 15th. The first book I read, which I'll have to insert here, because it's an ebook. I'll have to move over a bit. Most of the books I've been reading are ebooks because they're just easier to get rather than physical copies of them, and some just aren't available in physical copies. The first book I read was Anon by Diamond McKinney. It's actually like an adaptation of her Sims 3 series that she runs on YouTube. If you're in the Sims community and you follow filmmakers like that, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The first book I read, was Anon. I rated it 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. I loved it. It was very different to the actual video series, but I liked it anyway. So that was on the 18th of January I read that. On the 19th of January, apparently, I finished Flawed, which is the second Anon book, also by Diamond McKinney. I read it 5 out of 5 as well. I really loved that. I sped through these so fast. I loved them. She has a kind of different personality, and it has a different set of events, but the characters they're kind of the same, and you can see some of the events are the same, but not all of them are, so yeah. And then on the 21st of January I read Chelsea, also by Diamond McKinney, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it's just amazing. I would highly recommend these books, and I've actually read a fourth one, but they only came out not long ago, which I finished reading, so I'll talk about that later. The next book I read after that was Torment, which is Fallout number 2 by Lauren Kate. I gave this a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, and I read it on the 25th of January, so it took me about 4 days, but I'm pretty sure I started reading it last year, and then I kind of put it down because the story is really slow. I really like the first one, the Fallen, just the first one, but then the second one I found it was really slow, and then it only just picked up at the end, but that's just me, so that's why it irritated me, so that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5. I mean, I liked it, but not as much as Fallen or anything like that. And of course that was an ebook as well. I mean, you can get it in hard copy, or paperback, but I didn't want to pay the money when I'd already bought the ebook. The next book I'd read is Perfect Ruin by Lauren Di Stefano. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. It is the first book in the Interment Chronicles. Basically, they live on a cloud, basically, and they have their own world that's above our world, and if you try to jump, you're cast out of society, so you can't really go and investigate what goes down there, and they try to I read this so long ago, it was February, but they try to if they think you're going to jump, they kind of cast you as insane sort of thing, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to just obey what the people on the, I can't remember what it called it, if it was a cloud or island or whatever they called it, but yeah, and the main character doesn't really like that, so there's events that unfold after that. She's kind of rebellious, can't remember what her name was. Morgan, that's right. But her brother had jumped, or potentially tried to jump off the cloud or the island or whatever it's called. Oh, it's a floating city, yeah. So, you know. So yeah, I rated that 4 out of 5 as well. I liked it, but it irritated me at some points. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it was too slow, or maybe I was in a reading slump and I just didn't like it, or something, but... So here we have another one, which I really, really, really loved. This was amazing. It's Wonder by R.J. Policio? I think so. Basically it's a story of... It's a middle grade book, so it's easier reading, which I really liked. Like, young adult books kind of have like really heavy themes sometimes, and it's good to escape to like middle grade books and which are much lighter. Basically it's a story of August, or Augie as he likes to be called, and he has a facial abnormality that he was born with. Therefore he hasn't gone to a normal school until I think he is the 5th grade. Oh, it doesn't say on the back, but I'm pretty sure he gets put into a public school. Like, he was homeschooled before that. He was put into a public school at 5th grade, and he has to learn how to fit in, potentially, although he does say the things that the front of it says, you can't blend in when you're born to stand out, which is definitely true. It definitely was like a emotional story, indeed, but at first he feels all alone, and then then he changes, then he like gets friends and stuff, and people see him for who he truly is, not just his face. So yeah, like on the back of it says like has the power to move hearts and change minds. So yeah, I read that on the 16th of February and I gave that a 5 out of 5 because it was amazing. It was so good. The next book I read was Lovely Vicious by Sarah Wolfe. That's the first book in the Lovely Vicious series. This follows Isis Blake, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Isis Blake. I think she moves to a new school after, because they moved because her mum's ex-boyfriend or like some relationship, he hurt her mother, so they moved to get away from him, and she still has like traumatizing memories that will come back. So they moved to a new school and like a new town and everything, and then she meets this guy called Jack Hunter, and she kind of has this personality where she doesn't care, so they kind of, and he kind of has the same personality, so they're alike in some way, I guess, but they describe him as the Ice Prince of East Summit High, so nobody really gets through to him. I'm pretty sure he always turns people down, like girls and stuff, like no, but I think they always think he's like the hot one and everything, so yeah, and he's really smart, and they have a hate war or something. Once again, I've read this book like ages ago, back in February. But yeah, they have like a hate war, and then that kind of sends them into, I guess, friendship, and then their relationship kind of snowballs from there, and then you learn about Jack. Was it Jake? No, Jack. You learn about him, like his backstory, and then more of her backstory, and then yeah, it's really good. Maybe that was the next one. The next one I read was Savage July, which is the second one following Isis Blake. And Isis Blake also, in the first one, she says that she's destined not to fall in love ever again because the guy she fell for like broke her heart and everything, so like in a really bad way, so she won't even speak his name. And then I think this is one you learn more about Jack's backstory and Sophia, which is Jack's potentially ex-girlfriend, or girlfriend, depending how you look at it. And yeah, you just see how their backstories are and events that will lead on from that. So yeah, I read that on the 22nd of February and I gave that a 4 out of 5. I gave Lovely Vicious a 4 out of 5 as well. I really did like both of them, but they're pretty good. The next book I read was on the 25th of February, and it was Arranged, also by Sarah Wolf, which follows, what was her name? Follows Rose Jensen, and her grandfather dies, and he leaves her money, like her parents' business is failing, and she's in college, I guess you could call it college, and she, in order to like get the money that her grandfather left for her, this guy called Lee Montenegro appears, and they're saying in order to get that money that she has to marry him, and then she goes on about the fact that she doesn't really want to just marry somebody for money, but she wants to save her family, and she still wants to go to college, and yeah, she doesn't want to marry somebody she doesn't love. They did have a childhood together, but she just doesn't remember it. So he tries to like make her remember these things, but I don't think she really has a bar of it. She's really torn between doing the right thing for her family and doing the right thing for her heart, really. And then the next book I read after that was on the 1st of March, and it was Disarranged, which is the second Arranged book, also by Sarah Wolf. And apparently it's the second and final book in the Arranged series, so that one won't keep going, but I'm pretty sure Savage July, there's another book to it. Pretty sure. I'm just checking on Goodreads, sorry. Yeah, second book in the Lovely Vicious series, so there's another one. I rated that 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, so I liked it. I liked them all, but I didn't think it was worth a 5 out of 5, even though I really liked them, but yeah. The next book I read was on the 10th of March 2014. Back in March, seems so long ago. I read The Star Won't Go Out, The Life and Words of Esther Grace L., and I rated it 5 out of 5 because it was amazing. And who wouldn't rate it 5 out of 5? It's not like a book I usually read. It's basically, I'd say it's an autobiography or a biography of her life. Like Esther Grace Earle, she had cancer, and she's the one she inspired John Green to write, or she was the inspiration for John Green to write The Fault in Our Stars, because they met each other back in 2010 at a Harry Potter convention. So I found this book really, really, it was really, really emotional. I found myself in tears so many times. It was just, yeah. Oh no, she passed away in 2010. Okay. Well, they met each other a few years before that. And she died at the age of 16, so it sucks. But yeah, you get to see her life in her journal entries, and her parents, they had a website, and then they were updating people on her condition, and then she would update them sometimes, so they were kind of doing it through that, and then personal recounts from her friends and stuff, so yeah, you're basically getting a holistic view of her life at that time, and you got you got a view not just of that time period, you got it of like, well, not all of her life, but you got a brief recap of like how her childhood was and everything. But it sounds like she was diagnosed pretty young, so it always sucks when some people die of cancer. Indeed. I know a few that have died of cancer. So the next book I read, which was Melissa Marr's Carnival of Souls. It basically follows a few characters actually. Once in a generation, the carnival hosts a deadly competition that allows every daemon or demon a chance to join their ruling elite, so like the high class. And Arya and Caleb are both two daemons that are running in a competition in order to win it. And it also follows the story of Mallory, which is, she doesn't really know the city. Her father does, because he is a witch and he's always protected her and everything. At some point or another in that story, all their paths collide, and you find out more about their backstories and everything. And I rated this book 3 out of 5 because, I don't know, I just didn't really like it. The same with, what was it called? Perfect Ruin. Like, I was just in a similar mood as that. I don't know if I just didn't like the story, or I was in a book slump, or I'm not really sure. So, yeah, so I only rated it 3 out of 5. I mean, it's in a series. I'm not sure how many books, because none of them are released yet. That was the first one. But I don't think I'll be buying the next book. I don't think. I mean, there's a novella coming out too for it, which I don't know if it is set before the Carnival of Souls or afterwards, but yeah. Okay, the next book I had read is called Awaken by Katie Kavinsky. That book was amazing. I read it on the 6th of May, so there's a bit of a gap between Carnival of Souls and Awaken, kind of. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Essentially, it's set in the future, and everything is done online. So you go to classes online, it's DS school, or DS as they call it, well, digital school. You go to coffee shops online, you talk to people, you go to forums, you don't really go anywhere. You go on walks on the beach through a computer screen. Through a computer screen. Basically, you're not out and about anymore. It's just you sit in your bedroom or around the house and just don't leave. So the whole world has changed, really. And the main character is Maddie. And she's been talking to this guy called Justin for a while, and he convinces her to go to I think it's a study group for one of her classes for DS, and they finally meet and they talk, and and he introduces her to a whole new world where you don't have to be behind your computer screen or anything like that, and you learn about Maddie's backstory, where she had potentially tried to what's the word? I'm trying not to give anything away, but she's tried to I guess she gave a petition against DS, but her father is the creator of DS, so that didn't go down well, and she got in trouble and everything. So she's kind of rebellious, I guess, but not really. And then you just see how Justin has an influence on her and everything like that, and so I really liked that book. It was really awesome. I read that in a readathon back in May. I had 2 weeks worth of readathons, but I can't remember which books I actually read and which ones I didn't. I think it was just I can't remember. I think it was just, yeah, the start of these ones. Then I read Maddie's Tattoo, which is a novella for Awaken, which basically, because she has a tattoo on her wrist that's a bird, and basically it explains the meaning behind her tattoo and everything like that. So in the readathon I thought that was a good thing to read, so I liked it. I gave that a 5 out of 5 and I read it on the 6th of May. I read that in like an hour. The next book I read was on the 12th of May, which was Torn by Dan McKinney. That's the 4th book in the Aeon series, so yay! I really like this. I flew through it. I like her books. I like her series. It basically just follows the rest of Chelsea's life and stuff, continuing on from where the last book left her, and her love life and everything like that. So yeah, you have to read obviously that 3 to understand what's going on. That's the last book I read, like finished. The other books I'm reading is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I'm really liking it so far, although I'm only like I think I'm only like 80 pages in. But I started that at the end. I started that in the readathon ages ago. Yeah, I'm on page 80. I started that in the readathon and I haven't finished it yet. I had uni and stuff for most of June, so now it's the 1st of July, yay. And I probably should finish reading these books. So yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I'm hoping I'll finish it within the next week. Probably. I'm reading another book that I'll probably finish today, so yeah, hopefully I'll finish it next week. I'm really liking Eleanor and Park as the characters. I think they're really they're real, as I've been hearing from most of the people that have read her, so she creates real characters and they actually feel real, so that's great. The other book that I'm reading, I'm only on page 14, but is City of Homely Fire, which is much anticipated read this year. Yeah. It's the 6th book in the Mortal Instruments series. I've read, of course, the other 5, and I've read the Inferno Devices, the one with like Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Princess. I've read that one as well. I'm kind of waiting to read this. I'm holding off on this before I finish my other book, which is actually an ebook, which I told you about. Is it's called Fear Me Not, and it actually has aliens in it, which is kind of weird for me. I didn't think I'd like an alien book, so yeah. It's called Fear Me Not, and it's by Sarah Wolf, because she's awesome. Basically, it follows the character called Victoria Hale. She is an Eve, which means she's a motion vessel engraft, which means that seeing as the aliens have crash landed on Earth 11 years ago, that's the way they can feed. They feed through emotions, so like it's like an organ which will collect emotions, which is kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. And she's enrolled in this new school where they put gutters, which is what they call the aliens, and they put the humans together. They have Eve organs because it's you have to be genetically capable of handling them. So and she's capable of having one. So yeah. Basically, the reason why she's doing this is to save her dad and her sister with the money that she'll get. She'll get $100,000 if she keeps going, because her sister needs a good doctor and her dad just he's doing so many jobs to be able to pay for her sister's medical bill. And basically she's paired up with her culture partner is an alien called Shadis, and I am roughly 80% through the book. It's just getting very, very interesting. It's about to get, I think it's almost at the climax or whatever. And you learn about their culture and all of those complications and everything like that. The other book I'm technically reading is my Reckless Journal. I'm not technically reading it, because you can't really, it doesn't have much words. It's a journal. So I'm going to be doing a video about that as well, like flipping through my progress and stuff, and showing you what pages I've done and how they did it and stuff like that. I want to finish, obviously, Eleanor Park, City of Heavenly Fire, and Fear Me Not. That hopefully would get done by the end of the week, I don't know. So, I mean, I didn't actually read anything in June, like finish it, but I guess I've been busy. I was busy until like the 20th, and then I had work and stuff, so yeah. If you would like to see any of these books in sort of like a review by itself, please let me know. And if you have any feedback or anything, please let me know in the comments. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a nice day wherever you are, or whatever time it is. And I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.